The universe did not begin with a bang. And it will not end with a simple silence. It ends here, in the time traps we call black holes. There is something that has never once stopped. It does not hurry, it does not hunt. It simply stands there, waiting for the last light of the universe to find its way home. We always thought they were dead stars, but they are not. They are machines that erase reality itself. Places where every second of your existence gets stretched into a millennium. Places where every attempt to turn back is nothing more than an illusion of hope. Why can something so perfectly still be so utterly merciless? Why is silence the most violent force that physics has ever recorded? Do not look into a black hole searching for answers, because the moment you can see it clearly, you have already become a part of it. Stephen Hawking gave it an almost gentle name: Spaghettification. A word that sounds like something from a children's story until you understand what it actually describes. Gravity does not pull evenly. It pulls harder on whatever is closest to the source. And near a black hole, that difference is not a subtle variation. It is a tidal force so catastrophically steep that it does not break your body, it unmakes it. Layer by layer, bond by bond, it flays your reality apart at the molecular level, dissolving your atomic architecture into a thin thread of plasma. What crosses the event horizon carries not even the ghost of what you once were. The orbital tracking engineers at JPL watched a version of this in 1994, when Shoemaker Levy 9 fell toward Jupiter, and the planet's tidal forces tore the comet apart before it even arrived, shredding it into fragments with the energy of millions of nuclear warheads, leaving scars wider than the Earth. And Jupiter, by the standards of a black hole, is almost gentle. The night watch astronomers at the Chandra X-ray Observatory have spent decades cataloging the high-energy signatures of stellar material as it spirals inward and is consumed. And what their instruments record, with cold and merciless precision, is that the universe makes no distinction between a rock and a memory. Everything that falls in is processed with the same absolute indifference. Even a traveler as ancient and enduring as 3I/Atlas, that interstellar wanderer that crossed the void between stars for billions of years, surviving the radiation of dying suns across a journey longer than the age of our own planet, would dissolve without a trace, as though the journey had never happened at all. Is that destruction, or is the universe simply reclaiming what it always owned? We pride ourselves on our milestones, on journeys calculated to the precise tick of a second. But within the reach of a black hole, every clock becomes a liar. That is how long the Orion spacecraft needed to carry the crew of Artemis 2 around the moon and back to Earth. 10 days that felt to the astronauts aboard exactly like 10 days. Time moved forward at the steady, familiar pace that every human being who has ever lived has taken completely for granted. Near a black hole, 10 days becomes a joke the universe tells at your expense. Because here, time does not slow the way it slows during a long flight. It bends, warps, and at the event horizon it fractures into two separate realities that can never speak to each other again. This isn't a metaphor. It is the literal, inescapable mathematics of reality. Picture it. You are falling. Far behind you, aboard a deep space station like the Gateway, an observer watches through instruments of extraordinary sensitivity. They see you approach the threshold. They watch your motion slow. The light from your body fighting harder and harder to climb free of the gravity well, until at the event horizon you stop completely. You become a portrait, a ghost frozen at the boundary. Dimming over billions of years, a single moment of terror stretched into an eternity that never ends. But for you, inside, the horror is the opposite. When you look back toward the universe you left behind, you see everything accelerating past you like a dying star collapsing in fast forward. The death of our sun, the collision of galaxies, the slow, cold silence at the end of all things, timescales that dwarf even the 7.6 billion years. 3I/Atlas spent wandering alone between the stars, all of it rushing past in what feels like a single breath. You witness the final chapter of everything that has ever existed, and the greatest cruelty is this: you can never tell anyone what you saw. No signal crosses back, no light escapes. The testimony dies with you at the singularity. You become a permanent ghost, sealed inside the most horrifying moment of your own existence, carrying the secret of the universe's ending into a silence so complete it has no name. If you could send one message from beyond the event horizon, knowing it would never arrive, what would it say, and would you spend your last moments writing it anyway? In space, the direction out always exists. This is the foundation of every mission. The assumption that no matter what goes wrong, a way home always exists. Even a spacecraft pushed to its absolute limit still carries within it the one thing a black hole will never permit: the direction away. Inside the event horizon, that direction has been erased from reality entirely. And the reason is not a matter of engine power or fuel or the limits of engineering. The reason is that space and time have exchanged roles, and the physicists at Princeton and the theorists at the Perimeter Institute are not speaking poetically when they say this. Inside the event horizon, the singularity is no longer a location in space that you can choose to avoid. It has become your future, as inescapable as tomorrow, as irreversible as yesterday. You cannot resist falling toward the center any more than you can resist growing older. You cannot refuse to move through time. So you fire your engines. You arrive faster. You plot a new course. The geometry of space-time delivers you sooner. Every act of resistance, every expression of the human instinct to survive and navigate and find the way through, does nothing except spend the remaining time between you and the singularity more quickly than stillness would have. The death at the center is not an accident. It is not a failure of will or machine. It is a fixed appointment written into the structure of space-time itself, scheduled the instant you cross the threshold, and no force in the universe has the authority to cancel it. Space is hard. Every engineer at Goddard will tell you. But inside a black hole, space is not hard. Space is simply over. What remains is only time, moving in one direction, toward one destination, with the quiet finality of a mathematical proof. That is not a metaphor. That is the geometry of your ending. We call them black holes. We call them dead stars, cold remnants, the abandoned graves of suns that burned out long before we existed. But the international team of astronomers and engineers behind the Event Horizon Telescope collaboration, those who captured the first image of a shadow ringed by fire, perhaps they understand something the name will never capture. A black hole is not where something ended. It is where the rules that govern everything else formally surrender. When the scientists preparing NASA's Artemis missions look into the permanently shadowed craters at the lunar South Pole, they look into darkness that is hiding something. Ice, minerals, the raw materials of the future. When the orbital engineers at JPL studied Jupiter's atmosphere after Shoemaker-Levy 9, they saw destruction, yes, but also transformation. In our experience, darkness almost always conceals something on the other side. A black hole is the one place where that assumption breaks completely. The darkness is not hiding anything. The darkness is the answer. The universe still holds its invitations open, but black holes are its final warnings. They are the apex predators of the cosmos, indifferent to the grandeur of galaxies. We watch as they anchor the centers of star systems, not as guardians, but as silent graveyards. They are the engines of a slow, inevitable collapse, capable of starving entire nebulae of their future and unraveling the very orbits that billions of worlds call home. A black hole does not just destroy a star. It swallows the history and the light of everything that star ever touched. They are the reminder that some doors, once crossed, offer nothing back. That some questions that the asker cannot survive long enough to answer. That the edge of knowledge and the edge of existence are, in at least one place in this cosmos, the same line. And the most human thing we have ever done is walk as close to that line as physics will allow and refuse to stop asking what lies beyond it. And keep looking up.